Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about the daily monitoring. So few of the transaction code we executed and we have seen, right? So at the same time, if you see some other companies, like normally in each and every company, like not only one, each and every organization, we do the normal daily monitoring activities, all the production systems. So all the production systems, we will do the daily monitoring. So what things we will check it out. So if you see here, what are the things we will check it out. So first of all, if I take an example, first of all, we will check the SM37 to check any cancellation jobs or not. Then ST22, that is also we discussed so yesterday. So CC and also ST03N. So that we will discuss today, that one. And also SM21 and SOST and SM12, SM13, 66, 58, all these we discussed yesterday, right? Same way, all the production systems we have to execute all these transaction codes, SM12, 13, 66, 58. So all, how many production systems are there, you have to execute this, or you have others as well. You have many, so you have to execute it. But for example, this is one of the organization which we are doing daily. In this organization, we are only execute the few transactions only few we will execute it. So but if you go other transactions, they will maintain the one Excel sheet, one worksheet. In that one worksheet, they will maintain the n number of, not n number of, maybe 15 or 16 transaction daily monitoring transaction codes. So why we have to do that daily manually means, as a manual check is very important to detect any issues, to report any issues. So as part of the daily monitoring, if we see any issues, any errors, then immediately, so we will report. Immediately we will check, right? Immediately we will report to the our management. So then our lead, we will report it. So to avoid any issues during the business hours, before business hour starts, we have to do the our daily monitoring. Otherwise, what happens? The system having some issues, then business also started. So then it will create the some issues. So that's why we have to do the daily monitoring activities. Daily, we have to check the, are there any critical dumps are occurred or not. Okay, this is syntax errors, which means this has to be checked by so program error. So development team. So timeout error, this has to check by us. So memory errors, CPU errors. So you have to check why. So we have to check and we have to coordinate with the our function, our Linux team and operating system team. We have to coordinate with them. So depends upon the error, we have to coordinate and we have to fix it. So that is the main aim of daily monitoring. Before business starts, we have to do that one. So every person they have to do it. Why? Because here systems not only one. So we have either 6 or 7 production systems are available. So every person they have to segregate, split it. Then we have to do the work. So that's what the daily monitoring concept. So to continuation to the yesterday's one, So today we will discuss about the some other daily monitoring and normal monitoring and performance related transaction codes we will discuss about. Okay, so it's kind of daily monitoring transaction codes. Okay, called the daily monitoring T codes. Okay, daily monitoring T codes. So as part of the daily, so yesterday we covered almost we covered it, right? Apart from that, so we have Scott. So we have in SM37, SM51, all these things we discussed yesterday. Apart from that, so this is also one of the monitoring in the production systems. So SOST. So SOST is like, if you go SOST, this is called the mails monitoring, mail send request. So the requests which are going out of the SAP, the mails which are going out of the SAP, that mails will stuck here. We can see here, the mails we can see here. So here the mails will be, everything will be here. How many are sent, how many are waiting, how many are sent. So the mails we can see it here. So here there is a scalp functionality. That scalp functionality will responsible to send the mails to the recipients, our email IDs and recipients. Here the Scott functionality. Here we have to check. Why? Because sometimes once the job executed, the purchase order, the sales order, it will send to the recipients, the recipient email IDs. So sometimes we will get to the our Gmail IDs, right? Same as like recipients. We are the recipients. Sometimes we will get the PDF, order, confirmation, everything to the our Gmail, our recipients, like our Gmail IDs and everything, right? Same as like here also, it will send it to their company email IDs, the recipients and everything. They'll send it to the company. How they will send it to it? Where to monitor it means in SOST, we can monitor all the request and everything. We can monitor it. We can monitor it. So we have to check it out. Are there any failed requests? If any errors, it will be displayed here. So then we have to take the action why it has failed. So if it is failed, then we have to check it out the Scott functionality and everything that we will discuss. So okay. So SOST is the one transaction code for the send request. Okay. Send request, SAP Connect, send request, we have to monitor it. Okay. Send request which are going out of the SAP. Okay. So send request. So SM20ST22 dumps, and also yesterday we have not discussed about the SICK transaction code. SICK also one of the daily monitoring transaction code only. So SICK is for the consistency check, system consistency check. So when you execute the SICK transaction code, it will check are there any errors reported or not. So if any operating system level issues, any NQ is not running, message server is not running, so all these things will be detected in this transaction code. SICK is the transaction code. SICK is the transaction code for the all these related transactions. Okay. So the next one, this is one of the daily monitoring. As part of the daily monitoring, so the first transaction code only, this is the first or second transaction, depends upon the companies will build it. So we will execute it. This is the SAP related transaction. This is the daily monitoring transaction code only. Okay. The next one, we will also discuss about the SMLG, right? SMLG logon groups. Here you can see the logon groups. So what is the response time of the logon groups and how many are active, how many are inactive, all these things we can discuss here, right? We can see it here, how many are active. Out of we have 5 application servers in this, like, so we have 2 are active and remaining are down. We have stopped it, right? So that's why the response time we have to check it out here. So if the response time breaches as per the threshold, your company said normally 5 minutes or more than 5 minutes, then we have to check what exactly running in this applications and everything. And also here you can see the users count and everything, we can see it. Okay. SMLG, this is called the logon groups and response time monitoring, response time checking. Here we can check the logon groups and response time, which is called the load distribution. So finally it is called the logon groups and response time checking. So this is what SMLG we will do it here. This SMLG transaction code. Okay. SMLG transaction code. Then next one is the RJ12. It's not the daily monitoring, but we have to discuss about the RJ12 as well. RJ12 is for the RFC server groups. Daily monitoring is for the RFC server groups. So if you see in the RJ12 RFC server groups, so some jobs during anything execution, we have to maintain this RFC server groups. So during the SAP login, we will use this groups, right? Logon groups we will use it during the login to the SAP system. When you configure this group server selection, we will get, right? So 36, so 1 2 36, whenever you So we will get the all the groups we will get, right? All the groups we will get from, so here, all the groups we will get from here. So at the same time, this is why whenever you are logging to the systems, but sometimes some RFC connections are are sometimes whenever you are executing the any whenever you are executing the anything, so some jobs, some client copies, some parallel processing, so that time, so sometimes the development team, they will maintain the some RFC groups in their jobs and programs. That time we have to create the, so this RFC server groups we have to create it. So this is also groups. This is for the not logging, not logging purpose. This is for the system internal purpose. System internal purpose we have to create the, so this one. So suppose like parallel generator, so some group public groups or RFC groups. So we have to create it. We have to create it and we have to assign the instances to the here. We have to assign the instances to the here. See here how we are assigning. So during the communication purpose, to avoid these failures, so this group, if we create the groups, what happens? It will check. It will, so it will, suppose if this is down, this is down. So we have other application servers. So we have to check whether the everything is active or not. So we have to check. Sometimes some people, they will maintain as part of the their daily monitoring. Here we have to check the RFC server groups, whether all are active or not as per our checklist. So it should be active. All are should be active. So okay, this is the RFC server groups. So we have, so we can see in the RJ12 RFC server groups, we can see in the this one, right? So apart from that, so SMLG, although we also discussed SMLG, and yeah, so some of the performance related transaction codes, that is also related to the daily monitoring only, but it's like performance related transaction codes. So apart from that, this performance, the transaction codes will come as part of the, when we are discussing about one topic, during the topic based upon the situation, so the transactions code will come. So apart from that, so we have some general things like, suppose if you want to view the some tables data, if you want to create the some entries in the table, so if you want to create the some entries in the table or tables data, you need to use SE11 to SE16 transaction code for the tables related transaction, tables maintenance, table view. Okay, suppose if you want to view the some tables data, normally if you want to view the some tables data or some records, you have to add it manually. What you will do, normally tables available in the database level, right? Database level, what will be there? Tables only, right? Database level tables there. In the table, what there? Data will be there, right? Data are storing into the table level in the form of rows and columns. So in the form of rows and columns, the data will be stored into the table level. Whatever the data we are doing here, we are creating here, transactions, configurations, everything will be stored at database level in the form of tables. Inside of the database, some tables are there. In the tables, the data will be stored, right? Without tables, so that's why SAP is depend on the database. Why? Because all the configuration, SAP configurations, everything will be stored into the DB level. So we have to, so careful, and we have to know some of the tables as well. But how to know how to view the tables? So where to check the tables? Suppose database level, we have to check only database level. No, it's not like that. So it's a database tables. We can also view, go to the SE11, we can put the database table view. So suppose few of the tables, like suppose if I take one example, T000, this is the client related information. If you go click on the display, just click on the contents. If you want to view the contents, then clicking on the execute button, then the tables, how many entries are there, how many clients you created. So all the details will be recorded here. When you created, so when you changed it, all the data will be recorded here. So this is one of the client table. We are going to the SEC4 and we are creating the clients, right? So where this client's data will be stored, database level, there is a table is called the T000 table, right? So here we can see the main intention of here is where to view the tables data. So if you go to the SE11 or SE16, 16 also directly we can view the tables data. Just click on directly, you will get the tables data. But what is the difference between SE11 and SE16? You can see SE16, there is nothing is there. Just you can only view and create option, create the entries. If you want to create the entries, you can create the entry as well. Directly, you can create the table entry as well. Directly, you can create the table entry as well. But if you go to the SE11 transaction code, then so if you want to change, we want to delete, if you want to view something, data type, group, domain, so all these things we want to search it out, you can use the SE11. So in the SE16, you have only one option, database table, and a table name you have to give it. Then you click on the display button, it will display it. Not only one table, so we have a lot of table, but it's it's impossible, it's difficult to remember all the tables name, but few tables we should remember it. Those tables I will discuss with you. So I will discuss with you, not a problem, don't worry. Okay, so if I use the TBDLS, all the logical systems related information will be stored in this table. All the logical systems related information will be stored into this table, TBDLS. So TBDLS, logical system we will create, right? That information will be stored into the TBDLS table. So that is what we can discuss in this table. So if you want to change any tables, I think we need access key. So that's why this changing the data, everything will be taken care by our functional and development teams. We will only see the data. You can use the SE11 or SE16 transaction code to view the table level data. Okay, table level data. Suppose there is some more transaction code as well. SA38 or SE38. What is this? Programs. Programs are report. Programs are reports execution. Programs are reports execution. Right? We can see here SA38 or SE38. We discussed during the job creation. Normally, if you want to execute any program, we can use this report. We can use this one. We can use this one to execute the program or report or to use the source what is there. We will use this report. See, we are normally, whenever if you want to execute anything, you need to use this one, right? You need to use any report or any program, SA38 or SE38. So you can view not only here, not only one report, any program or report, you can use this one. Anything you can use it, right? Anything you can use it to schedule it. So to execute it, you have to execute it manually every day, deletion of the jobs. But if you schedule the one background job, what will happen if you schedule the one background job date and time? So that will be executed automatically. That will be automatically. You no need to execute it manually. That will be executed automatically. Automatically means without user intervention. Without user intervention, that will be executed automatically. Automatically. So that's why. So we have to scheduling the background job. So during the background job concept, we have discussed how to schedule the background job and everything. So what the background job will execute it? Background job will execute the program or report. Who will write that programs and report means our functional guys, our functional team, sorry, our development team. They will write the code and program. Then they will ask us to execute it. So one time execution, then we can go to the here and we can execute it. One time execution, we can come to the here, then we can execute it. So when you execute it, so it will be display which are going to delete. All these things will be displayed. All these things. So total 707 jobs will be deleted. Till now, these are the jobs finished. So if you just remove the test mode and execute it, if you schedule the job, that is also will be completed. All will be deleted from the SAP system. Okay, we have to schedule the standard background jobs as well. And also same, we can execute from the SE38 as well. The programs or report execution we can discuss from we can check from the SE38 as well. But in SE38, there is a one more like here we can see the source code. what exactly written in the in that report, in that program, what exactly is written. So what is the code it's mentioned. So we no need to worry about the code, but if we want to see the code of this report, so this report they will save it as, this is the code they will write it, they will save it as the one report, one file name, that is called the report name. Same as like we also write, we will write in the notepad, we will write it something, then we will save it as the one file name. Same as well here also. So here variants, what is the variant and everything. So we have to execute it. So like that we can execute it. We can execute, we can also execute it. So both the ways, either you can execute from the SA38 or SE38. But each transaction code, there is a separate more functionalities. That functionalities as and when required, you have to execute that functionality. Suppose sometimes your development team asks you to send the source code of this program. Then go to this program name, you can fill it, then source code, click on the display, you will get the source code, then copy and send it to them. Sometimes they will ask you to execute it, then you can execute it, right? So like that you can execute it. This is the timer button, execute button. Right? So this way we have to execute it. That is the programs, and this is the programs and reports execution, and this is the tables related data. Okay. So the next one we'll discuss about the some performance related transaction codes. Then what left in till. So I almost covered we covered everything. Okay. Some daily monitoring. During the daily monitoring, we will discuss about the some of the performance related transaction code. Performance related transaction codes. So performance, system performance related, so T codes, those things we'll discuss now. Okay, those things we will discuss now. So the first one is for ST01. ST01. This is for the system tracing. So sometimes what happens, people will go and switch on the trace. People will go and switch on the trace. They will switch on, and they will forget. They will forget. Switch on and they will forget the system trace. They will forget, right? People will go and they will do, and they will switch on the trace, and they will go out. Then it keep on recording everything. Then the file size is very huge. Then we have the file system full issues. So to avoid, we need to check whether the trace is on or off. It should be off status only. So normally why we have to use this system trace? Suppose in your system, there is a HTTP issue. There is a RFC calls issue. There is a APC, AMC, all the issues and everything. Those things we can find out from here. Those things we can find out from here, right? Here we can check it out. Those things here we can check it out. All these things we can check it out. So about that those things we can record. Those things we can record here. So trace we can record, and you can record it. The trace you can record it here. Sorry, ST01 system trace. Normally, whenever means, suppose sometimes our functional team, our development team, they will have some issues, RFC connection issues, RFC calls. So sometimes they have to find out the issue, DB access issue. So that time we have to check all this. We have to check it out. This one. Then we have to switch on the trace. We have to switch on the trace. Then we can on the person, we can on the user to reproduce the issue, or we can ask our development team to reproduce what is the issue they are facing and everything. Suppose we can ask the user to reproduce the issue. Suppose they are having some issues, then they can go to the some SM59, then they can check something here. They can check it out. So they are having some issues, then they can check this RFC connection is not working. There are no logs as well. Then we can check it out. We can trace the logs as well. So now I'm checking, I'm checking here, but this connection test will fail because there is no NWD system here. This connection test will fail. That I know, but system also know it will throw error now. System will also know, but it will throw error. It will check whether this IP is correct or not. Then it will fail. It may fail it now. So these things we can monitor it. These things we can track it in the ST01 trace. ST01 trace, we can track it. See here in the ST01, now I got the error. just click off, switch off the trace. So click on the analysis button, then so we will get the trace and everything. See here, we will get the trace now. Trace display, we got the trace now. So what exactly happened when you started the error? What exactly happened? What objects replied? So all these things, so we got the error. See here, there is a destination, client destination program. This is the program name it is used. So this is the RFC call. So this is the one it is used. So you can just clearly tell what is the RFC destination trace record. So this is the one, you can see it here, how much time it's taken. So execution, so data sent, how much data sent, how much data we received, so time taken. So all these things we can figure it out from here. We can figure it out from the trace display. We can figure it out from the trace display here. We can figure it out from the trace display, which program it is calling. All this information we can find out. We can find out from the trace. So this will be helpful to find out the issues. This will be helpful to find out the issues, to find out the root cause of the issues. What transaction code, which user, what is the client, what is the process ID, what is the work process it is used. So what time, date, all the information will be recorded when you are doing when you are switching on the trace, right? This type of tracing we can find out. This type of tracing we can check it out from here. What exactly happened, all this information. So if it is the red entry, definitely some we need to take attention. We have to take a note and we have to fix it. So how much time it is taken. So all the information last us. So object, what object it is called, what table it is called. So all the information, so it will be recorded. All the information it will be recorded. You can see here all the information, everything will be recorded. Okay, so this way we have to trace it. Not only RFC calls, maybe you can also see, go back and see the HTTP calls as well, APC calls as well, some lock operations as well, some DB access, SQL trace as well. So general kernel related errors also we can find it. Everything we can find out from here. So we can also not only execution, we can also find out the issues. Why? Because we are the basis consultants, we have the administrator, we are the responsible to troubleshoot any issues. So we should know how, if we want to troubleshoot it, we should know where to check the errors and everything, right? Normally, if any error, we can check in ST22, SM21, we can check. These errors we can check in the ST22, SM21, we will check it out. But sometimes if the error is not recorded in SM21, ST22, what we have to do? Then we have to switch on the trace. We have to switch on the trace. Then we have to reproduce the issue. We have to switch off the trace and do the analysis. This way, we have to use this transaction code for the tracing. Right? Got it right? Any questions from anyone? It's clear, right? Tracing. Suppose tomorrow your development team asks you to, so hi basis team, I am unable to, this RFC connection is failing. I don't see any locks in the system. Can you please record the trace? Can you switch on the trace? So like that time you have to come to here, then you have to switch on the trace. Suppose if they want to RFC trace, if they want to HTTP trace, so if you want to DB trace, we can switch on the trace. So first of all, we will check the existing logs. Where? In ST22, we will check it out. Any dumps are occurred or not. So then SM21, we will check it out. Any system logs or not. We will check all these things. In ST22, SM21, we will check. Did you find anything here? So nothing. There is, I don't see anything here. Nothing is fine. So then what we have to do? We have to leave it the issue like that? No. What we have to do? We need to find out the error first. We have to find out the error first. Then we have to fix that one. So the error is when you are tracing in ST0, some other RFC connection having some issues. Then we have to check it out exactly what exactly causing and everything. So this way we can switch on the trace, then we can switch off the trace, then we can perform the analysis. We can perform the analysis what exactly happening in the system. Okay, so this is the way we have to switch on the trace. So this is also sometimes some companies they will keep this transaction code also in the, so as part of the daily monitoring as well. Why? Because if you keep on switch oning, the log will be recorded. It will be very huge size. The file system, we will get the file system full issues. So to avoid this one, we have to use this tracing functionality also. We have to use it, right? That is the ST01. So system trace. So we have ST05 as well. That is also so system trace only, but it's a different functionalities. So different functionalities. ST05 also trace only, but that is the performance trace. Suppose that is for the SQL trace, so NQ trace, HTTP trace, so RFC trace. That is also similar to this trace only, tracing functionality only. Tracing functionalities only. We can activate the trace, then we can deactivate the trace, and we can also click on the trace that will be displayed. That is also will be displayed. Okay, so that is also will be displayed. So that is also like the tracing functionalities only. So both the ST01, ST05 are the tracing functionalities only. Tracing functionalities. We have to trace it. So we have these are the tracing functionalities. So the next one, ST02, 2 for the so tune summary. It's a very important. So tune summary. And the tune summary means here we will check the ST02. If I will go to the ST02 transaction code tune summary, what we will check it out from here as part of the daily monitoring. As part of the daily monitoring, what we will check from here. So here we will check the buffers, right? Buffers related information, hit ratio. So how much free space available, swaps, DB access, and SAP memory areas. These three things we can see. These three things we can see in ST02: swaps, buffers, hit ratio, swaps, and SAP memory areas. What is this? What are the buffers? What is buffer? What is the hit ratio? So what is this this transaction codes? Okay, so let me explain this one. Normally, if we see our SAP architecture, this is the presentation layer, and this is the application layer, and this is the database layer, right? This is the database layer, so, right? So this is the SAP GUI. So here we have the presentation layer. This is the SAP application layer, ECP, and this is the DB. We will not directly work on the DB. So because some companies they have the DB team. So if they are using the HANA, then we have to work on the HANA administration as well. We have to work on some of the HANA roles as well. So what is this buffers? In SAP, in each application server, we have some buffers to store some temporary data. Suppose program buffer, so calendar buffer, CUA buffer, so screen buffer, OTR buffer. Like that, we have buffers are there. Okay, like that we have buffers. Buffers means some container, some temporary storage area. It will store some amount of data inside of the data. Frequent accessed data will be stored into this buffer, right? Frequently, today also you executed the one transaction code, then that will be stored into that data will be stored into the screen related data will be stored into the here. That program related data stored in the program buffer. So how this will happen? See here, suppose you log into the SAP screen. So you want to see the some sales related transaction code, sales related. Suppose you want to see the some purchase order, some order information. That time you will go MIGO, suppose example MyGo transaction code or VL02 sales related transaction code. You will see, right? See, after the execution, within few minutes we got this error, right? Few minutes we got the data transaction codes. We got the transaction codes and everything we got it, right? So what exactly happening? Why it's taking some time? So few transaction codes will take some time, right? Few transaction codes will take some time. Why? Okay, So few transaction codes. So you are executing, right? So few transaction codes, sometimes it will take some time, sometimes it will take so few minutes it will go in a database level, and it will fetch, it will direct. So first of all, what exactly happens here, whenever you execute anything here, first of all, it will go and check the buffers. It will go and check the buffers. So whether you are executing the data is the first time, it will check the buffers, all these buffers, it will check it out. So in this buffer already data exists, then it will fetch and it will give the results to you immediately. This is the one scenario, right? This is the one scenario if the data exists in the buffers. Okay, so sometimes the transaction code is no one executed now. This is the first time you are executing. What will happen, it will go and check from here. Okay, data is not there here, then immediately it will go to the database level. Here it will check in the database level, it will check it out, then it will give the response back to the user. Then while giving the response back to user, it will store data here, then it will give the response to the user. Next time, whenever you execute the same similar transaction, similar screen, it will check from here, then you will get the response from here immediately. So whenever it is taking from the database level directly, so it will take some time. Why? Because from here to here, and here it should go database level. The database level, it should execute the some query, it will get the data, then it is giving the response back to the user. This processing time, this is called the processing time. This processing will take some time, so that you will get the slow response. Whenever, suppose we will execute the same in the one of the new system. We will execute. So what is our new system? S4F, we have the system is there, right? Let's see whether that is available or not. What happened? It is not starting. This S4F. It's not starting. S4F. So if you're not starting, what we have to do? The troubleshooting techniques also we will discuss in our classes. It's also very important. So S4F. OS level in the work directory, we have to check it out, but that part we have to discuss it out. So still we have not completed that part. We have to discuss that part. What happened? Something is happening here. Okay, let's leave it out. Why? Because we have so we'll execute one more transaction code. Suppose like yes trust SSO2. This is one of the transaction code. See how much time it is taking. It is compiling. See here, after few minutes, after some milliseconds. So this is the response time we got it. Here we got the screen. The screen. So suppose what exactly it's checked now. So it's checked here in the buffers. It's checked in this buffer already. This stress SSO2 transaction related data available or not, it will check here. If not exist, then it will go to the database level. It will check here. Then it will give the response to the user. This time it will take time. Now, if you execute again same transaction, immediately you will get the response. See, immediately you will get the response. So, which means first time when you are executing the transaction code, it will take some time to fill the buffers. It will take some time. Then after that, it will give the response back to the user. So that time, how this well means, that time this buffers, this ST02 this ST02 related buffers will be, buffers means where we check these buffers means in ST02 here we can check it out. Here name tables related, field related, initial records related buffer, programs, all programs will be stored in the program. CEA buffer, calendar, screens, OTR, table, export input. So each and everything there is separate buffers are there. So what is this hit ratio? This hit ratio means how many are hitting the buffer, how many are taking the request from the database level, how many are hitting directly from the buffer, how many are hitting the DB. So if the hit ratio should be 95 plus, if any buffers, hit ratio should be 95 plus, it should be 95 plus percentage, 95 percentage it should be. If it is less, then something wrong with the system, which means we have seen the some performance related. Here we can see 86, 82 percentage, some 91 percentage. This is okay. Calendar buffer is the 94 buffer. So 96 is okay. So we have some less are there. So which means we have to take the action, which means the performance issues. System is some slow, somewhat it's very slow due to some buffer related issue, some memory related issue. Maybe you need to run the SGen to compile it. So this kind of things we have to find out. This kind of information, and also how much KB, how much KB is allocated, what is the free, what is the percentage of the free. So all these things you can see it from here. This buffer is going to full. Now only 703, like this is the CUA buffer. Only 703 free KB is left. If this coming to the 0, then we may get the swaps. We may get the swaps. Here what you need to know, buffers you have to check it out, hit ratio you need to check it out, and also the free space available or not we need to check it out. And also whenever we have the less free space, definitely you will get the swap entries here. When the swap entries will come, when we don't have enough free space for buffers, you will get the swaps here, right? Whenever you don't have enough free space, you will get the swaps from ST02. ST02 swaps column, you will get the red entries. So this is the way here. So how much, so which buffer it will go database and access it. So all these things we can find out from the, all these things we can check it out from the in the ST02, right? Any questions till now? Is it clear?
Sir, how,
Yeah.
sir, how long data will store in the buffer?
Until you restart. Until you restart. Once system is restarted, all the buffers will be flushed out. All the buffers will be flushed out. Flushed out means it will be cleaned. It will go to the empty again. So that's why whenever system restarts, then after that you execute the transaction code, it will take some time to fill the buffers and it will come. So after 10 minutes, after 15 minutes, again it will come to normal status. That is expected. Why? Because buffers will be filled, buffers will be loaded. Sometimes, so sometimes we will not clean up the some shared memory and everything, right? So actually normally it is expected after the system later buffers will be cleaned, buffers will be flushed out. It's available in the SAP level. All these things available in the SAP level only, application server level, so that so we can see the hit ratio, how much it is hitting, and what is the free space, how much swaps are occurring on it. If the swaps are not occurring, then we have the enough free space. The swaps are occurring, then there is a free space. So you can see this is having the less free space. So calendar buffer is having the only 119 KB. So we have to start increasing it. So but there is a restriction. Immediately you no need to increase it. So but we have to do the some analysis. Suppose we want to, the analysis of the outcome comes like increasing the parameter, then each one here can see the current parameter value. You can go to the current parameter value. So you can see the how much the buffer size, how much CA buffer size. So all these values, all these parameters are here, there. Then you can go to, you can just take the you can just take the outcome of the our investigation like increasing the parameter, then it will go to the here, then check which one you have to increase it. So which parameter, which buffer, which like, so suppose you want to increase some this buffer, then if you double click on it, or if you just select, go to the profile maintenance, then click on the display, then you can see how much value is configured. Okay, this is the value KB is configured. You want to increase it, then you need to go to the RZ10, then you need to increase it, right? You have to go to the RZ10. So we discussed it, right? That's why we discussed about the profiles. Go to the instance profile, go to the instance profile, go to the extended maintenance, click on the display, just check the parameter, whether it is available or not. Sorry, go to the click the parameter, then just click on it. Yeah, 4096. Then I want to increase it to the 5096. I want to increase it. Depends upon the value. Which one we want to increase it, we can increase the value. Then come back, then copy, then go back, save, activate, right? This way we have to activate. This way we have to activate the, so we have to activate the parameter. Now parameter value we changed it. Next to 02. Like that. So if the outcome comes to increase the parameter value, we can increase it. If we want to know the detailed analysis, why it is taking some time means we have the detailed analysis. What exactly there in that CA buffer. So what are the objects that are in the CA buffer? So these are the objects are there. Maybe the development folks knows about these objects and everything. If we ask them, they can do the some cleanup. If it's a custom, they can do the cleanup. If it is the standard one, we should keep it, so that we have to increase the size. We have to increase the size. Buffer means, suppose if I take the outside of the example, you have 1 liter container, right? 1 liter box, right? 1 liter, so box. In that box, you are pouring the some water, something you are pouring. So what happens? Today you poured the, in 1 liter you poured the, so 100 ml you poured. Tomorrow 100 ml. Day after tomorrow 30, 300, 400, 500, like that. After 10 days, it will come to, it will fill, right? So after 900 ml it fall, next 1000 ml. 1000 ml. But the container size limit only 1000 ml only, 1000 ml only. Then after 10 days, maybe after 1 week, so the container will fill. Why? Because we are pouring the data. The data is coming to inside of the system, SAP system, it is storing. Then the buffers will fill. When the buffers fill, the swaps will occur. So what we have to do, either if you want to increase it, or either we need to delete, either we need to remove the some pouring water from inside of the container, or we have to increase it. So there is no need to remove it. Why? Because so we should not remove it. Those are not required. Those water are those things which we kept in the inside of the container. That is very important. Then in this case, what we have to do, we have to increase the size. How to increase the size means we need to check the what is the current size. Then we need to double it, or we need to increase it. Like that, we have to take the action. Like that, we have to take the action. And also you can also see the history for each day, how much. So each day, how much it is getting increased each day. So like that, you can see the history as well. History also you can see. So the total hit ratio, this is the hit ratio. So okay, first day, May 1st, it is fine. May 2nd, 99%. 16th, today, it went to the 82. Why? Because today morning, I restarted the system. Today morning, I restarted the system, so that it is going to the database level, then it is pulling the data. That's why hit ratio is very less. And also the free, whenever it is the free percentage, free storage also, it's very less. DB access. So compared to the other days, today DB access is very high. Why? Because it is directly going to the database level. It is pulling the data from the database level. Why? Because as I told you, right, during the time of restart, after few minutes, after few hours, system, it will take some time to load the data. So that's why. So that's why you can see. But yesterday is okay. Day before yesterday is okay. Everything is okay. But today only we got the error. So that buffers related analysis, if you want to do the detailed analysis, I want to see the program analysis. Then you can see what is the program, how much is allocated, what is available, what is used, how much free. This is having enough free. Why? Because you can see the free is available. There are no gaps and everything. So if you want to see the what are there in the buffered, what data is there in the buffer, these all programs are available in the buffer. These all are the programs storing inside of the buffers. We can also see what is storing inside of the buffers. Everything is storing into the buffers. You want to see the history, we can also see the history. But today only you can see every day 99 99 90 numbers, today only so 87%, which means today we restarted. If you see tomorrow the keep system is running for some time, if you guys are using keep on using system, then the buffer hit ratio will increase it, right? You can see tomorrow you will get some good statistics from hit ratio, regarding the good statistics regarding the hit ratio, like that. So we can see here, like that we can find out the information from the buffers. Okay, so this is what about, so buffers, hit ratio and everything. It's a very important transaction code. So during the any system performance issue, system is slow, or some people, some users, they will comment like, so high basis team, I am executing one transaction code, sales transaction code, it's taking some time, it's taking some time, so it's taking some time, so to load the screen and everything, which means it is expected before that you restarted, it is expected. Sometimes you are not restarted, for the others it is working, for you only it is having some issues, which means we have to enable the trace and we have to investigate it. How to enable the trace? ST01 we discussed, ST05 we discussed. How to discuss and everything, we know how, what is, suppose we have to check the whether any hit ratio problem, whether the swaps are occurring, any free space related issues, then SAP memory areas. SAP memory areas we have to discuss separately. Why? Because it's a very it's also very huge topic. We have to discuss this one as well. So okay, so we have the three types of memory issues. So simply, one is the page area, extended area, heap area, and the role area. So those are the memory areas for the SAP that I will discuss tomorrow. But today, but please practice it. Whatever we are discussing, you guys, if you practice it, then only, if you practice it, then only, so you will get perfect and you will remember what we discussed and everything. So without practice, if you by had all this transaction code, everything, even if you get it out, but tomorrow whenever there is situation comes to check the buffers and take the trace, then you are new that time. So please practice. That's why I'm telling, please practice. Okay, clear, right?